Yes. Okay. I think it's recording. Yeah. Real quick, I'm just gonna be like, hey guys. Hey guys. This is the second read through. What's today? November
26th.
Yeah. If everyone could go around, introduce themselves, and then say what characters they're reading, that would be a big help. And thanks. And that's it. We'll go ahead and do that. Amanda, yes.
Okay. My name is Amanda. I am going to be reading the voices of Jamie Mello and Tara. What's the last name here?
Vincent.
Tara Vincent.
I'm Tim. I'll be reading Martin and Ballinger.
Yeah.
I'm Dory, and I'm reading Schuylerh.
I'm Sharon, and I'm reading Danielle Kraus and Justine. I can't remember last name.
That's all right. That's all good. First names are most important, I think.
Okay.
I'm Andy, and I'm reading Rory and Jen, or Jeanette.
Hello, I'm Gabrielle. I'll be reading for Ingrid Hschuylerh, Jisoo Park, and Borland.
Thanks, guys. You guys know me, I'm Schuyler, and I'm going to be reading the stage management junk. Cast list for Aspen Hall. Students partnered with their roommate. Rory Bosick, Ms. Aspen. She exemplifies the boarding school life. Rules, camaraderie, academic achievement. She is the prefect for the Aspen Hall. Justine Rule, clumsy, messy, but affable. Justine is friendly, but bumbling, her head in the clouds and a D&D monster manual. Tara Vincent, uptight and stressed. She does not get along with her roommate or much of anyone. Courtney Halsey, all-star and a hard-working student. She is the captain of the JV soccer team and the goalie. Ingrid Hschuylerh, a class clown through and through, an artist with no patience for authority and willing to have a good time all the time. Jeanette Glazebrook, mousy southerner with a good head and strong academics. She is part of the nerdy side of things, wears loud, outrageous accessories. Candace McCormick, a loner and a would-be poet. Candace thinks she is a little too adult to be a part of the rest of the Aspen clique. Skye Faber, poor student, unfocused and dramatic. Skye finds joy in the tumult of Aspen's internal politics and history class. Jisoo Park, Korean with fair English skills, quiet and focused. A good sense of humor is hiding just behind the language barrier. Jamie Mello, joined at the hip, they are referred to as Damie by everyone else. They are of course their own people, but they are always together. Danielle Kraus. Jamie is more into sports and Danielle is more into academics. They both are League of Legends fiends. The teachers. Mr. Ballinger, history. A young, good-looking teacher, Ballinger is teaching in order to get his master's. He also coaches soccer. Mr. Martin, chemistry. Martin is a devout family man and an absolute stickler for the rules. Ms. Drew, nice and well-meaning. Oh, and Dory, if you could also read the librarian part, I'll cue you when that comes up.
Okay.
Actually, no, you're reading Skye.
I'm
So
reading
if
Skye.
you could read the librarian part, that'd be fantastic. Amanda.
Yes. If I have.
I'll throw it to you, or I'll sit next to you when that part comes up.
Just throw it at me.
Dr. Mack, chaplain, well-meaning, inappropriate older man, has good intentions for his flock. Borland, physics, does not give a shit about the boarding school BS, but cares about his kids. Breakfast, which is page 2, 3, page 2 and 3. Breakfast. Camera does a montage. We watch as Rory gets ready for her day. This includes some minor stretches and exercise, as well as getting dressed in her uniform. The camera is in the girls' rooms, and we see Rory open each door, if they are not already open, as she walks by. Rory, a smile on her face, she's good-natured and peppy.
Up and down, girls.
She knocks as she opens the door to Jen and Candace's room. Candace is in bed and rolls over when Rory enters. Jen is getting dressed.
It's a beautiful day out there.
Sky and Taejun's door is open. Sky is groggily brushing her teeth. Jisoo is ready to leave the room as Rory passes. She nods to Rory on the way out. Rory self-consciously nods back. Next room. Rory claps her hands as Courtney is doing sit-ups towards the camera. Hschuylerh is lying on her bed in her uniform.
Jamie, Danielle, get your butts to breakfast.
Rory leaves the door, but the camera stays on Dan and Jamie. They both are at their computers and wave simultaneously, if half-heartedly.
Breakfast, you two.
Rory is standing in Justine's and Tara's door. They are both in bed.
I don't want to go 10 rounds just to get up and I'll go wait.
I'm up.
Sits up. Rory.
Vincent, are you alive?
Tara groans, shifts, then screams as Justine steps on her as she climbs from her bunk bed.
You little bitch, get your disgusting feet off me.
Language! Justine, be more careful getting out of bed, and for goodness sakes, both of you better clean this mess up before inspection.
Sorry, Rory. I'll clean my stuff up.
To herself.
Damn it.
Rory keeps walking. Camera faces her as she walks purposely down the hall. Smiles gone. Cut to exterior. Girls giggling, complaining, swearing on their way to breakfast, pulling on their uniforms as they hurry. Cut to interior dining hall. Bustling. As girls get breakfast, Rory is sitting at a table with a sign-in sheet on a clipboard. Enter Martin. Martin, during conversation, some girls come in.
Rory, I'm disappointed in the Aspen Hall. As prefect, it's your job to make sure all of your fellow classmates under your care make it to breakfast.
I know, sir. I try, sir, but I am...
Under Martin, camera focuses on Jen. Jen crosses off as many names as she can without getting noticed by Martin, but Rory sees. Martin cuts Rory off.
Trying might not cut it, Bosek.
You're right, sir. I'll make sure the girls get here on time.
See to it. I believe in you, Rory. Being a prefect is a large responsibility.
Martin exits. Jamie enter.
Morning, guys.
Jamie grunts.
How are you so fucking cheerful, Rory?
Dan realizes her name is already signed off.
You both finished your chem lab for Martin?
It's second period, so...
Jamie also realizes her name is already signed off. Rory's incredulous.
You're going to do your whole chem lab during report during Young's English class?
Probably.
Dan and Jamie exit without eating breakfast. Rory calls after them.
Have you guys seen Vincent or Rule?
They don't respond. Rory shakes her head as she picks up the clipboard. Rory then crosses off the rest of Aspen Hall. Chapel. This is page 4 and 5. Who did I say was going to read you're going to read Dr. Mac? Okay. You have Chapel?
So question, do you want me to sing Everyone's Living?
No, because that's
Sounds
going to
like-
be a whole thing.
Okay, cool. 'Cause I was
But
like,
I'll say
I
it.
remember that. Okay.
Chapel. Exterior, we see the girls marching toward the chapel. Bell goes off. Interior chapel. Girls singing, they are split up into pews by advisor. They are all standing and singing I Sing a Song of the Saints of God. Borland notices an empty space on his pew. Dr. Mac, singing but not heard over the others, changing the lyrics to, and one was a lesbian named Irene. After the song is over.
It is great to see you bright young girls up and ready for the day.
Dr. Mac at his pulpit.
Well, you're up anyway.
He laughs at his own joke.
A few announcements before we depart for class.
Reading.
The pool will be closed for the season.
A little too loud.
I should hope so. It's frozen solid for months.
Reading again.
Soccer practice will be on the south field today, weather permitting. And this Saturday is the mixer with St. Bernard School for Boys.
He looks over his spectacles at the girls.
I want you all on your best behavior, though. I doubt that will be true for the boys at St. Bernard. Now I want to talk to you not as your chaplain, but as your college advisor. You all know, or you should know, that Thursday is test day. I know that every one of you is signed up for the SATs, but I want to encourage you to consider the ACTs as well.
There's an audible groan. Dr. Mac gets more stern.
I don't think you realize that it is good to have a backup. I am sure that each and every one of you will do well on the SATs, but it's good to...
In the interior, we now follow Borland as he walks the halls to Jen's room and finds Jen reading. As we watch Borland walk we still hear Dr. Mack.
Have a backup plan. So everyone please see me to sign up for the ACTs. Now there is an announcement from Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Mack.
Borland knocks on Jen's door and Martin's voice starts to fade.
There's a suspicion that someone is signing up other girls on the breakfast sign-in sheet. This will not be tolerated. From now on, I will personally
Starting to fade out.
be attending to...
Didn't see you at chapel this morning.
No, sir.
Exasperated.
You've got to go to chapel, Jenny.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Jen, you've got to go to chapel and you have to sit with the other advisees.
There's a moment.
Look, Jen, I know it's bullshit, but everyone has to go.
Jen nods. Borland nods to himself.
Did you sign in for the other Aspen Hall girls at breakfast?
There's a long beat. Borland sighs.
If you're not careful, they'll write you up for that. Martin and Bouton are cracking down.
Another moment.
All right.
About to leave, but remembers.
You get Martin's lab report done?
Jen holds up her lab report. It's thick.
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep up the good work. You and your roommate getting along okay?
Jen shrugs.
All right, then. Let me know if you need any, I don't know, further advising.
As he leaves,
Jenny?
corrects himself.
Jen?
Calls out from off screen.
If you wear fun stuff like that, Jen, Bouton's definitely going to write you up for out of uniform.
Jen fingers her sparkly skull-shaped barrette, shrugs to herself, then turns the page in her book. Chemistry. This is page 6, 7, 6 and 7. Chemistry. Interior Chem Lab. Everyone is partnered up and has goggles on. They are all chatting and in the middle of an experiment.
Class, I want you to be very careful with this next part of the lab. Ladies, this is the final...
Bang! And a puff of smoke from off screen. A panicked Martin runs over to Rule.
Mrs. Rule, if you please.
Berates Justine for her lack of restraint and clumsiness. Skye is partnered with Jen, and they whisper.
Did you finish the lab last week's lab?
Jen.
Oh, yeah, it was a little bit more involved than I thought it would be.
How many pages?
20.
20?
What about yours?
I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of my lab report.
At this rate, Martin will put you in guided study.
Feigning horror.
I missed out on Justine's new dungeon?
Justine's D&D beats the hell out of guided study with Martin.
Just let me see yours.
Skye takes Jen's lab report and starts to read. Martin, regaining his composure.
Now, class, as Miss Rule has demonstrated precisely how not to engage with the mercury, please have one partner continue with the experiment while the other takes notes.
Bell rings.
All right.
He yells over the calamity of students shifting and getting up from their lab desks. Skye says a silent thank you to God.
We will continue the experiment next class. Everyone please turn in last week's lab into my desk.
Jen snatches her lab back and walks to the front of the class.
Shit.
Martin, half shot of Martin standing at his desk as everyone files over to turn in their lab. He looks with approval or disapproval depending on the thickness of the lab report. He notices Skye off camera heading to the door.
Halsey.
Half shot of Skye at the door. She freezes and turns with a smile on her face.
Mr. Martin, I was just going to go back to my room to get you the report.
Martin, he beckons for her to come over. As he speaks, she does.
I'm afraid that it's too late, Miss Halsey. As you know, this is your second offense, and you will lose a letter grade on the report, and you will be joining me for work crew this evening.
Yes, sir.
Skye makes big, pleading eyes to Jen as she walks by. Jen mouths, sorry, as she drops her lab at the desk and walks past.
If it happens again, Halsey, I will feel obliged to ask you to join me for guided study. It does seem that you are not using your study hall time wisely. Perhaps you need more structure. I know that when I was younger, I was brazen. I would often shirk my responsibilities, and I have dedicated myself as a man to make sure that others don't follow on my dark road.
Yes, sir. I understand, Mr. Martin. It's only that it's lunch and...
You see, Halsey, I think that we actually have a lot in common.
Lunch!
Lunch.
Interior dining hall. Damie are sitting at a corner table. Jamie is spinning her cup on the table, trying to balance it. Skye and Jen walk over, holding their trays.
What's up, sluts?
Martin gave me work crew.
Jamie not looking up.
He's a son of a bitch. That asshole wrote me up for out of uniform last week.
Were you out of uniform?
It was goddamn breakfast. My top wasn't tucked in the fucking bag.
Jen, you beautiful daffodil, I want to have your baby.
Completely serious.
Now I know the technology exists, so let's make it happen. We don't have to go all les about it.
Gives her sultry eyes.
Unless you want to.
Normal.
Because the doctor will make that sucker for us.
Jen looks baffled and searches the faces of the others at the table for an explanation.
I think we're going to need a complex network of tubes.
You've been the one signing in for everyone at breakfast, right?
I try to get as many names as I can while the teachers aren't looking.
Haven't been awake for breakfast all year, so they've had me in work crew.
All year.
Just go to breakfast.
Yells.
It's early!
Normal.
But tonight is going to be my last one.
Dances.
No, Schuyler's gonna be right there with you.
Work crew buddies!
Schuylerh gives an uncomfortable hug that turns into an inappropriate hug.
Get the fuck off.
I'm trying!
Comic deep voice.
That's how we do in work crew.
You guys gonna be on league tonight?
Jamie looks up, makes intense eye contact with each of them while nodding.
I've got to make up Martin's lab.
Wouldn't miss it. As long as I can play as the little girl with the giant bear.
Borland still forgets to turn off the internet at lights out so we can go late.
Jisoo would literally kill me if I were to keep her up after lights out.
She isn't into StarCraft with the other Koreans?
She doesn't seem to be into games.
Everyone else is in, though.
History class. History room. We bounce around the room following Ballinger.
So far with the age of exploration, we have discussed Magellan, Columbus, Pizarro,
Balboa.
Bright Sky. These explorers were champions of Spain and Portugal and gave their benefactors a great head start against the other European competitors. But if you think about the colonies in North America, who else is there?
The Netherlands?
Netherlands. Yep. From someone else.
France.
England?
Yes.
Smiles at Courtney.
Yes.
Bad accent.
Merry old England.
Ends accent.
Sorry, won't do that again. Today we're talking about Henry Hudson and his search for the Northwest Passage.
Wasn't the Northwest Passage Lewis and Clark?
Right you are, Halsey. But Niederberger would be upset with me if I stepped on his American history toes. You will get plenty of Lewis and Clark next year.
Kidding.
Seriously, Halsey, give us a spoiler warning next time. Does anyone besides Halsey and Faber want to tell us what we are referring to when we say the Northwest Passage?
The Northwest Passage was the presumed northern route that connected the Atlantic and the Pacific.
10 points to Gryffindor. Right you are, Kraus. Presumed because, as Halsey slightly spoiled for us, it did not exist. So Henry Hudson.
We cut, but Ballinger continues in the next scene.
Monday I want 1,800 words on Hudson on one, I repeat only one, of his expeditions. I'm currently handing back your papers on Pizarro or Balboa. It was or...
Hits Sky on the head with her paper.
Faber, you suck up. Halsey,
Does not give her a paper.
stay after.
Camera follows Sky out the door and cuts back to see Ballinger and Courtney through the glass in the door. Sky looks back through the door as it closes and sees them laughing and an embarrassed smile from Courtney, who buries her face in her paper. Ballinger touches her on the shoulder. It feels intimate, and Sky turns away as the bell rings. Free period. This is page 12 and 13. Justine, Sky, and Jen are sitting together at a table in the library.
You are now before the necromancer. On his wizened skeletal frame hangs a loose, tattered cloak. On his pasty, ancient head is a tarnished crown. In the center of the crown is a ruby the size of your fist. As you enter, he...
Which of our fists?
Your fist.
But I'm only a halfling.
A normal-sized fist.
So, my fist?
He starts to speak.
Justine changes her voice.
Greetings, adventurers.
Murders and Acquisitions Department? Or MAD, if you please.
Shut up. He doesn't know you as Murders and Acquisitions Department.
He hasn't heard of us?
Well, he lives in a cave below a poisoned lake, guarding a demonic horde. So, no, he doesn't get out much.
Sky looking at her character sheet.
I thought my halfling bard had renown.
Yeah, maybe like in a city or something.
Ms. Drew, the librarian, enters the shop. Here, do you finish?
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
Oh.
Where?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are you girls studying?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's open up some books and make sure.
Well, Justine was just giving us a synopsis. She read ahead with this week's reading for Miss Young's class.
I'm sure that Mr. Young would appreciate if you all read the assignment.
Girls reluctantly open their bags and get out their books.
What are you all reading?
Percy Shelley's Ozymandias.
Ms. Drew quotes Horace Smith's version, knowing that it is not the Shelley to be different and mess with them.
In Egypt's sandy silence, all alone, stands a gigantic leg which far off throws the only shadow that the desert knows. I am great Ozymandias, saith the stone. The king of kings this mighty city shows. The wonders of my hand, the city's gone, naught but the leg remaining to disclose. The sight of this forgotten Babylon, we wonder, and some hunter may express, wonder like ours when through the wilderness, where London stood holding the wolf in chase, he meets some fragment hue, and stops to guess what powerful but unrecorded race once dwelt in that annihilated place.
All look at Miss Drew. She smiles and sees that all their books are open, then walks away.
What was that?
Jen shrugs. Justine continues in the necromancer voice.
Greetings, adventurers. So you found my secret dungeon.
Sports! Page 14. Entire episode focuses on Courtney's face. Courtney is sweating and running. She has already been running laps. She approaches the rest of her team. As she approaches, she looks over. The camera shifts to Ballinger and the rest of the team. We hear Ballinger in a Doppler effect.
Played Miller last week was abysmal. I don't want to see any
Loudest.
thing like that again. You girls were bunching up and couldn't even
Softer.
keep the plays straight. Worst of all, Halsey let in 4 goals because your lack of hustle. You are going to watch as your captain, your goalie, makes up for your mistakes.
We hear the sounds of nothing. Courtney is stoic as she passes the group on the far side of the field. Camera shifts to the side of her face, and we see the rest of the team in the background. Ballinger is still berating the team. Schuylerh waves idiotically.
Hschuylerh, I swear to Christ.
Close up on Courtney. Courtney is grinning. We hear nothing till she is closer to the team.
All right, Halsey. 2 down, 2 to go.
Everyone watches as she runs past.
Keep that pace up. Shex, keep her company. Mello, you're going to race Halsey. Whoever loses does an extra lap.
Both run with Courtney. Jamie quietly.
This is bullshit.
They run the lap together with Schuylerh lagging behind.
All right, everyone runs.
Schuylerh is dying. Ballinger starts to run backwards.
Keep up, Hschuylerh. We leave the weak behind. I expect a lot from this team. I expect a lot from you, Halsey.
Jamie, so only Courtney can hear.
I wish you would just fuck him. Then we wouldn't have to be out here.
Jamie runs ahead. Halsey is shocked for a second, but then sprints up behind Jamie and passes her. They finish the last lap, and Halsey wins. Camera is across the field.
That's the way. That's the kind of hustle I want to see from all of you next Thursday against Kent.
Schuylerh crosses the camera, still half a lap behind. She's out of breath.
Fuck!
Cut to black. Work crew, page 15, 16, and 17. Exterior, half shot on Martin. Martin is doing a roll call for the girls assigned to work crew. With each name that Martin calls, a hand is raised.
Latz, Faber.
We pan to Sky and Schuylerh in the back of the crowd. Schuylerh hits Sky hard in the arm. Sky rubs her arm and it hurts. Schuylerh mimes excitement and gives 2 thumbs up. As Martin calls the roll, Schuylerh mimes different ways of killing herself, including Russian roulette and fumbling a grenade. Then Schuylerh's name is called. Sky lets out a giggle.
Hschuylerh,
Pleasantly present.
something funny, Faber.
No, Mr. Martin.
Right. Any funny business, and we can all be out here again tomorrow night. Plenty to do around campus.
Schuylerh raises her hand.
Mrs. Hschuylerh.
What's on the docket for tomorrow night?
Excuse me?
What do we have planned for work crew for tomorrow evening, sir?
Miss Hschuylerh, I'm not certain, but I can assure you
If
that...
there's plenty to do, then...
That's strike 2, Miss Hschuylerh. If you get to 3, you can discover firsthand what work crew has planned tomorrow. I would think that you wouldn't mind being in the dark. However, as you have attended almost every work crew since the start of the year...
Martin turns his back. Schuylerh mimes jacking off. Skye suppresses a laugh. Cut to interior. Skye and Shex are mopping the gymnasium. Skye stops and checks hands.
Oh, yup. I'm getting fucking blisters.
This is nothing. In the fall, they had me cleaning out the pool filter. I found a family of possum floating in there.
That's disgusting.
The mama was so waterlogged and bloated that I didn't see the babies underneath till I picked her out.
Ew, shut up. That's sick.
Look, I only ate one.
Shut the fuck up.
Martin appears out of nowhere.
Faber, what language did I just hear?
There's a long pause. Skye is panicked.
She's practicing Japanese, sir.
Everyone is shocked.
Excuse me?
Faber and I, as an extracurricular, have been teaching ourselves Japanese.
Nani? So desu?
A long pause.
Ah, fuck it. I'll just take the work crew.
Study hall, page 18 and 19. We start at black. We only hear the crash course introduction playing metallically through earphones. Camera opens 1 foot off the floor, up Skye's desk, ending over Skye's shoulder, with Jisoo in focus, staring annoyed at the noise. The desks are facing each other, computers back to back. We hear Hank Green's muffled voice, and we see a little bit of the video that Skye is watching.
Skye?
Over the muffled sound of the video, Jisoo shifts her stare from Skye to her computer,
Oh,
embarrassed.
sorry.
The volume softens only slightly, and Jisoo resigns herself to the situation and returns to her reading.
Skye? What does visage mean?
What?
What does visage mean?
Visage?
Video pauses.
Oh, yes. I was reading the assignment for Mr. Young. For me, it is very hard.
Shelley was a pretty cool dude. Like the Kerouac of the 1800s. He was all free love and questioning authority.
Yes, but
I hope we get some ginseng. I hope we get some Ginsberg next. Young seems pretty stiff, but I bet he was cool when he was in his 20s.
yes, but what does it mean? The word visage.
Skye gets up and reads over Jisoo's shoulder, reading quickly.
Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor.
She interrupts herself.
So visage means face.
So why not just say face?
Skye shrugs.
Okay. Well, thanks.
No problemo.
Skye's video resumes at full volume. Jisoo sighs. Bedtime, page 20 and 21. Broad shot of Tara's and Justine's dorm room. The room is disgusting, just a complete mess. The roommates are fighting. Tara is seething as Justine is looking through it all.
I know you took it. It's gotta be somewhere in all your mess.
Don't have your goddamn hairbrush. And
Stop searching
stay
for a
on your side of the room.
Not till I find the hairbrush you stole.
I borrowed it for 2 seconds like a week ago.
From off screen.
All right, everyone. 5 till lights out.
Tara starts to look through Justine's stuff.
Well, stop borrowing my stuff.
Looks under Justine's mattress, revealing for just a moment a vibrator. Justine, bright red and embarrassed, but furious,
Get out of there!
shoves Tara to her own side of the room. Tara, disbelieving and in shock.
That's gross.
Rory entering and knocks as she comes in.
Lights out, you two, and I don't want any fighting or you're both getting written up.
Rory exits. Tara sits up on her bed in a huff.
You are a perv.
You're fucking, like, repressed.
Justine sees the hairbrush on Tara's side of the room and reaches for it. Tara flinches, thinking that Justine is going to hit her.
Here's your stupid hairbrush.
She tosses it onto Tara's bed.
I knew you had it.
Shut the fuck up. Rory will write us up.
Go fuck yourself.
We cycle through the other girls' dorms. Skye is brushing her teeth and Jisoo is ready for bed. Jamie and Danielle are both playing League. Schuylerh is on her computer and Halsey is coming back from the shower. Jen is reading in bed and Candace is climbing out the window in a dress and makeup. We hear Tara and Justine as they scream at each other. Camera ends on Rory. She is saying prayers and then getting into her as she lies down. She is startled suddenly by a crash. Camera follows Rory down the hall till she reaches Tara and Justine's door. Over the shoulder shot, Rory opens the door to see Tara and Justine wrestling on the floor.
That's it.
Justine and Tara both freeze and look up at Rory.
She started it.
She stole my hairbrush and she has a dildo.
Just go the fuck to sleep.
Lights out. Page 22. Camera is on Jen. Jen is sitting up in bed reading. She hears Borland coming down the hall. She looks at her roommate's bed. It's empty. She goes to switch her light off as Borland gets closer, but she thinks about her roommate's empty bed and sits back and keeps reading. Borland enters.
Time for bed.
Yes, sir.
You wanna...
Borland gestures to shut off the lamp. A moment passes.
You're gonna need to turn that off.
Jen nods.
What you reading?
Armor by John Steakley.
Any good?
It's a lot like Starship Troopers. I don't think Steakley has the fetishistic reverence for authority that Heinlein seemed to show. Instead, it seems more cautious and irreverent in its depiction of a militarized society caught up in an endless war.
Well, certainly the film counteracts the ideals of fascism and parody. I have yet to read the book, though.
You can borrow my copy.
Borland nods.
I'd like that. Thanks.
Borland starts to close the door.
Oh, say, you don't know where your roommate is, do you?
Jen shrugs.
Bathroom?
Borland nods again as he shuts the door.
Well, just make sure she tiptoes back. Good night, Jen.
Camera stays on Jen. We hear Borland walking down the hall. Jen clicks her light back on. Thank you so much, guys.
Yay!
I'm gonna shut this off real quick.